A rascal.
Ooh, yeah. She's the president of the Faribault Area Chamber. Good morning, Kim.
Hi, Gordy. How are you today?
What a way to start the show,
Well, why not? You kind of led me right into that.
Yeah, I certainly did, didn't I? You got a special event coming up on June 2nd. Maybe we ought to plug that right out of the gate.
Oh, my
here.
goodness. We have so many things to talk about today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that listeners will remember a great woman who worked at the Chamber for many years, but she also had a candy store in town. Can't remember the name of it right now. It slipped my mind. But she worked at the Chamber. Her name is Lori Warner. And she, just a phenomenal woman. She left here and went to work in Nebraska. She worked at several different chambers of commerce in Nebraska. And she is a 3-time cancer survivor. She's had a lot of survival skills that she's had to come up with her fight against cancer. And she's coming back to Faribault to visit with us in June, and she's going to give us a luncheon about her journey and talk about her survival. And I know Lori well, and I've worked with her for a lot of years, and she's always positive, bright, happy person, and her story will be lighthearted and inspiring, and the proceeds of the event will benefit the Rice County Relay for Life.
Which I think is one of the reasons why she's a 3-time survivor. I think attitude has a lot to do with it, and she is a very sunny person.
Absolutely. I'm sure she will be a long-time survivor and share her message with lots of people. She'll be speaking at the Elks Lodge on Friday, June 2nd, for a luncheon event. So lunch starts at 11:30 and her presentation will begin at noon, and we just would love to fill the room with people who first remember Lori and want to hear her story, but also people that would like to be inspired by a cancer survival story and help benefit Rice County Relay for Life.
Yeah, it's $20 per person, and that goes toward the Relay for Life.
It does, absolutely.
Here in Rice County. So very happy to see that she donated it to the Relay for Life. That's
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to kind of get started on your fundraising for that special event that comes up later in the summer.
25th anniversary.
25th, okay, yeah.
Yeah, a quarter of a century.
So, giving.
I seem to recall maybe 10 years ago saying on stage that I hope we're not here in another 10 years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we still are there, but we're closer to cure.
Yeah, and you know what? There's so many cancers that are curable, and so many really diagnoses that have a lot of hope behind them. So for that, we're very grateful for all the scientists and researchers and doctors and medical professionals who continue to make this a disease we can fight.
We heard the miracle of Jay Zilski yesterday on AM Minnesota. He had melanoma, stage 4. I can't remember how many months he was given to live, and he's been he's cured. 2.5 years he's
Isn't
been.
that a great thing? I mean, there are so many treatments that really do make a difference, and that's because of groups like Relay for Life who raise money and get the message out and talk a lot about screening and early diagnosis of these diseases. Helps in so many ways when you wait till the very end.
Put on that sunscreen.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day. You got to put it on the top of your head too.
Well, thanks for reminding me of that.
Just,
I
whatever.
usually wear a hat.
Don't forget all those spots, the back of your neck.
Yeah, the tips of your ears.
Yeah, I imagine that is a big spot to
I've been
catch
wearing
the sun.
a wide-brimmed hat a little more often now for that very reason.
Yeah, when you're out gardening, and even on days that are a little overcast, there's so many ways that we can, by the way that we live with the right food and the right exercise and living a healthier life, prevent, but also early diagnosis, and those screenings are so important. So we're happy to be part of our Relay for Life fundraiser by bringing Lori Warner in, and if you want more information about that event, just check the Chamber website or give us a call at the Chamber.
Sounds good. We're going to get an opening market report, Businesses of the Year, named recently here in Faribault by the Chamber. It's Small Business Month in May, so we have a lot to cover with Kim Anderson when AM Minnesota continues.
I bet they do curb and gutter.
Hogs today
Well, they have curb and gutter
support. June leans at 132 at 75.47. July's 107 higher at 76.77.
Well, hopefully this
It does need to be improved. There's no question.
As well. I'm John Perkins with the Brownfield Market.
Thanks, John. Certainly appreciate that. Kim is patiently awaiting here, and we'll hear from her in 30 seconds.
Shop at Metal Services in Blooming Prairie is ready to do what it takes to help you get your equipment ready to hit the fields this spring. Whether it's in the shop or in the field, Harvey
And he made my sandwich, so I know he can make good food.
Well, whoever the young man was waiting on us was outstanding. I mean, they were just so right on the spot. And that's good to see.
Stop in and see them. The repair shop is located 2 blocks east of the Dairy Queen. That's Metal Services in Blooming Prairie at 507-583-2144.
He did have to say Dairy Queen there, didn't he? Now I'm hungry for a strawberry sundae. How about you, Kim?
You know, I had strawberries on a waffle this morning at Borders Inn out on Highway 21. They hosted they hosted our Business Before Hours event this morning. We had a wonderful turnout. Lots of people talking about so many things going on in the community. It was just wonderful to listen and hear all the different exciting activities and events and organizations that are busy doing things. Excuse me. And you know, when you stay in a hotel and you get to have one of those awesome waffles, that's what we got for breakfast this morning at Borders.
With strawberries on it.
Well, with strawberries or maple syrup or
whipped cream.
Whipped cream. It was all there, but I just was happy with the strawberries. It was quite good. No, just strawberries.
Just the strawberries.
With the waffle.
That does sound delicious.
I know. They have a lot left, so, you know, whatever, Gordy, you can head out there and see what they have.
It
was a very nice event. It's our monthly membership meeting. We call it Business Before Hours, and it's 7:30 to 9 on the first Wednesday of every month, and we have great hosts every month and always have a wonderful opportunity to hear what's going on in our member businesses and share a little bit about what's going on at the chamber. So glad to be doing that today too.
Is the public invited to these events?
No, it's a membership event.
Okay.
Yeah, guests can come with other members if they want, and certainly member prospects are always welcome.
Bringing that up, this business luncheon next week, is that open to the public?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Anybody who would like to come is invited to purchase a ticket, make a reservation to attend. It's a week from tomorrow, and it's our annual business awards. And this week, this week that we're in right now is the National Small Business Week, and the whole month of May is Small Business Month in Minnesota. So it's a great time to just really pause and celebrate what small business is all about. Now, according to the national standards, a small business is anything under 1,000 employees. So all of our businesses are small businesses according to the national standard. We have a lot of businesses in this community that are micro small according to the national numbers, meaning 5 employees or less. So we love to celebrate them and give them an opportunity to tell their story. Gordy, you know, you get to do that every day here on AM Minnesota, but for us, this event is kind of one of those really heartwarming events, because through a selection process that our board is involved in, and our membership and the whole community is invited to nominate businesses, we select a business of the year, small business of the year, and a new business, and we get to hear their story. So this year we'll get to hear the great story of 60 years in business from Erickson Furniture. And talking to Paul Erickson, listening to him talk about the uncles and great uncles that were involved in the furniture business around Minnesota, and then his dad kind of reading the handwriting on the wall that if I'm going to have my own store, I'm going to have to, you know, spin off and go to another community. Decided to come to Faribault 60 years ago and opened a business in Faribault, Erickson Furniture, and now Furniture and Flooring. And now, of course, Paul's been the owner for a while, and other family members work there. And it's just a great story, and we're looking forward to hearing him tell it as the way he only could, and celebrating Erickson Furniture as our small business of the year.
Yeah, Dad said, "Go east, young man, go east."
Right, right. And then we also name a new business. And, you know, it's always important. There's always going to be new business. Not everybody lasts 60 years. And that's not unusual. Many small businesses do fail because, you know, they maybe didn't anticipate the difficult effort that it would take to manage and own a business. A lot really don't have the reserves to be able to operate probably at a loss for a while they're building their business up. And so we do see businesses come and go, but it's really fun to help a new business get off to a great start and celebrate the fun way that they get started. And this year we're celebrating with Crack of Dawn, Bakehouse, and Market. And oh my goodness, just go in there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when they're open, and it smells glorious. Everything is baked from scratch right there. They have locally grown produce, eggs. It's kind of that farmers market style place. It's really become kind of a cool hotspot place in downtown Faribault, and they offer lunches now. I had one of their salads that come in a jar, and you just dump it out, and the dressing's on the bottom, so it kind of takes care of it all. So good, just
salad
fresh.
In a jar. I like
salad
that.
in a jar. Yeah, it's really a portable lunch, and so we're really happy to give them an opportunity to tell about their dream and how they got started, and they've only been open a year, but they want to make sure that they mention their parents and many patrons that they've picked up already this year in 1 year of business. And that business is owned by Lori and Chris Momberg, and it's just wonderful to see them achieving that success so early in their business.
That's located at 209 Central Avenue.
Right next to Fetty Electronics.
I took a picture of it and threw it up on the website yesterday.
And our business of the year is Faribault Harley Davidson, and man, what a great business that is. They are remarkable. And again, the story is fabulous. Here you got Bob Hoffmeister and kind of his dream opening a little shop, and we all of our vintage remember the little shop that he had south of town, like right on the south edge, and they opened that beautiful new place, and what a wonderful investment in the community. But they have a lot going on there. They're not just selling the motorcycles, but parts and clothing and service and clubs and rides and fundraisers, and they have a 40th anniversary party coming up this fall, and Ann Hoffmeister is just a phenomenal owner of that business, and we'll be able to hear her story too at our Business Awards lunch on Thursday, May 11th at the Warehouse A. So we want to remind people it's at a new location this year, the Warehouse A, and reservations are required, so we ask you to call the chamber or check our website, and you can register online to attend.
Sounds awesome.
I know, it is awesome, and it's always one of my favorite things because we get to hear those awesome stories about how somebody had a dream and made that dream into a reality, and now is a thriving and successful business in the community.
I had many lunches over the years with Bob. He was a great guy.
Right, and a great storyteller.
Oh man, I could have sat with that guy all afternoon every time I visited with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Because the last few years we have had retail leadership in our board, we have focused a little bit lately on the idea of retail and customer service. So we've been doing a few extra things, and this year, like last year, we ran a social media, Facebook promotion, asking for stories about customer service. So we put it out there, and we had about 10 days where we were just asking for great customer service stories. And we did get some. We got some wonderful testimonials on some businesses and actually individuals that will also be given a customer service award at our luncheon next week. So I just want to say hats off to Chris Bednar from American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, Gail Hochfeld and Mary McIntyre from the State Bank of Faribault, Kurt Halverson from Hometown Credit Union, Carol Nordley of Southern Heights Dental, Scott Johnson, Hometown Garage Doors, and Judy Pockert from Hy-Vee Food Store. Those people were given outrageously positive testimonials on Facebook about their customer service. It was great.
That is cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
So they get a plaque or something?
Yeah, recognition and a chance to, we send a letter to their boss and let them know that they're doing what they want them to do as far as serving customers. It's just a fun way to recognize people for doing great work.
Same's true with the businesses of the year. They get something to put in their store.
They do. They get a lovely framed plaque that they can put in their store, and it's of course marked with the year, so they have a chance to brag about that for years to come. it's always pretty gratifying when you go to other businesses that have been awarded this in the past and see their plaque or their picture or the memorabilia from that event still hanging up. It means a lot to people.
Have you ever had a repeat winner?
Well, we intentionally try not to have a repeat winner.
Sure, yeah.
But what our policy does allow for a repeat after a 10-year span. There's a lot of businesses that deserve to be recognized, so it's not hard to keep the repeats. But we do, of course, accept nominations, and then the board has a criteria and a method by which they make a selection, and yeah, I'm sure there would be a repeat winner coming up.
So anybody in the community can nominate a bid?
Yes. Yep.
You are the Kenyon area, the Faribault area
Yes.
Chamber of Commerce. Kenyon was on the mind because they come, they're right next door.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
a
So
business
anybody.
outside?
Yeah. Well, it's a chamber event, so we choose. One of the requirements is to be a chamber member.
Correct.
And so any member of our chamber is eligible. We do receive nominations from businesses that are not members, and we keep them in our file. Should
Someday
they decide
maybe they'll be a member.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the hope. That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the desire.
Yeah.
You have what, 500 members now?
Just about. We're approaching that number, hoping to get to that, solidly. I think we're at 480 something right now. So we're making our way toward that number, and that represents over 11,000 people that work in those member businesses, and that's a lot of people. So we're really privileged to have that kind of support in the community and to be able to do the great work that we do.
So you've been at the chamber for over a decade.
Yep, 19 years.
Almost 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest change you've seen in your years there?
Well, I think it's the volunteerism. We still have a real solid core, but it used to be years back that nearly every company had 2 or 3 people, or at least one, that they would tap to be out in the community doing things, and that's less. More, I think that requires the staff to be more, I would say, in the leadership of events and activities. We still have a tremendous group of ambassadors, board members. Our ag committee is very active. We've got a lot of great volunteers, don't take me wrong on that, but it's less. People are more stressed in their work. And then I think too that a generation ago, people were more in tune to the idea that they should volunteer in the community, and now it's not quite as expected. It's still valued and certainly respected, but not everybody feels that that's something they need to do, so we have to do a little more promoting and encouraging to get that to
Is some of that
happen.
because of the social media that we see these days?
I would imagine there are a lot of factors too. I mean, I think that one of the factors that I think is different is that parents are so consumed and busy with their children, and that's a wonderful thing. They're
Right.
busy doing things with their kids. In my day, our kids are in their 30s. In fact, I got one turning 40 this fall. But when they were little, we were active in the community. But we didn't attend or we weren't as active every day in the lives of all the things that the kids were doing, all their activities.
Sure.
So it just is more consuming, I think, to be a parent today than it maybe was 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's just different. So we have to adjust, and our organization adjusts to that by making things quicker, making the volunteer opportunity maybe just a little easier, giving just a slice of what a volunteer can do and asking them to come, just help out for a couple hours, or will you take this on and do it whenever you have time, and so we just adjust, and we are very fortunate to have tremendous support in the community and a lot of great volunteers. I mentioned we had that event this morning, and Helen and Gus Hoffman, of course, are the owners of Borders, and they have been involved in chamber stuff for 40 years or more along the way. Helen was a chair of the board of directors I believe she was the second woman ever as the chair of the board of directors back in the 80s. And she remarked this morning that the crowd of people, maybe we had close to 50 people at our event today, and she remarked about how young they all were and how great it was to see that youthfulness. So they come for the things that this helps their businesses grow. It helps them connect with people that give them perhaps a referral or a lead, and those are the things that are important to them right now.
Cool.
It is
cool.
cool.
To cover?
So many things. So we're talking about the future of our community, right? We're talking about what, Faribault, the chamber, and all kinds of great organizations, and we want to promote Faribault's future. It's our leadership program, and it has been going on for over 20 years, and it's really a tremendous program. It's got two pillars. One is on community awareness and understanding the community, and the other is on individual leadership. So the class gets to go on tours of many businesses. They learn about the community. They get to meet community leaders. They really examine and evaluate the community over a period of months under the microscope of the Blanding Community Leadership, which identifies 8 elements of a healthy community. And they take a look. Do we have good things in arts and recreation? Do we have a safe community? Is our infrastructure strong and invested in? There are a number of things that they evaluate that way. And then they learn. They learn about the police department, about the prison, about the sheriff's department. They learn about public works, and a lot of people don't ever really think about all the miles of streets and water and sewer and all those things that go to make a community. It's pretty important that those things work. They get a chance to visit industry and businesses and talk to a lot of people. So it's a pretty dynamic program. And then we also have a strong leadership component where people learn about their leadership strengths. They learn how to work in teams. They learn about the challenges of doing a community project. As we were talking about a moment ago, the ups and downs of working in a volunteer situation. So it's a great program. We would love to get the class filled for next year. The program begins in September, and it's once a month for a full day from September to June. So we're just finishing up this year's program. They have 2 more classes left. During the summer we plan for the next session, and the next class begins in September. So, a lot of people today spoke about Faribault's future. Some were lifelong residents, grew up here, thought they knew absolutely everything about the community. They went through the program and they were just shocked to find out so many things that they never knew about the community they live in. And new people to the community love it because it really gives them a real fast way to learn a lot about the community and meet a lot of people. And young and old like it. Younger people like it because it gives them that maybe first strong leadership development that they might need for their job or their home or their volunteer work. And older people that take it tell us that it gives them a chance to reflect on the leadership that they've provided so far and how they maybe still have something left in them to do more. And a lot of times when people get to a certain age, they find they have a little more time to give and they want to be involved in something different that inspires them in a different way. So being part of Faribault's future is a great way to do that. So we're taking registrations for the class. We limit it to 20 people, and it'll start in September. So anybody interested in more information about being in the Faribault's Future Leadership Program can also give us a call at the Chamber.
Now I'm going to ask you something. You may not know the number of people who've gone through this.
Yeah.
But it's been a number, right?
It has. For the last 20 years, we've capped the program at 20. Maybe for the 10 years prior to that, it didn't quite get to 20. So when you do that math, it's a lot of people. Now, not all of them still live in town. Some have moved away, and that's okay. But we do try to keep track of the alumni, and invite them every year to a couple of things so they can still stay attached to the program. And today we did a call out to all of our alumni and told them today's the kickoff for recruiting people for the next class, so we asked them to be involved.
Are these movers and shakers in the Faribault community today?
Many are. Some are movers and shakers in their own right. Although we would love to see Faribault future grads be involved in all kinds of things. If they do a better job as the Cub Scout leader, or they do a better job on their church council, or they become a better mom or dad, or decide that there's one area of the community they want to contribute things to, we consider that a success.
Yeah. Originally, it wasn't that why it was started. You wanted to develop future leaders in the community, council members, that sort of thing?
Well, a lot of times people think of those institutional leaders roles like council and that kind of thing, school board and all of that, and that's important, and of course, that would be a wonderful thing, but as I said, there's leaders needed everywhere, and so if they learn more about the community and about themselves through this program and just maybe get involved in one thing, like the Relay for Life, or whatever it might be, it's all good.
A little less than 2 minutes. Anything else?
Well, a couple things. I would say we really are pleased and proud to announce that we have a 5-year continuation of our tourism agreement with the city of Faribault. So
right.
We're very pleased about that. We believe that shows that we have done well with that work, and that the city is confident in us to continue for another 5 years doing that work, so we're really pleased with that. And thanks again for having us on. We're always happy to, we have so much to talk about, and spring is such a busy time, but want to remind people and say hats off again to those award-winning businesses, and if you're interested in attending, make sure to give us a call in the next day or two.
Kim is a very patient woman. She waited to the end of the council meeting, the marathon meeting last week for the tourism contract.
Well, you got to be there when it's on the agenda, and we were pleased that they gave us that continuation.
Yeah. But I'm sure you would have liked to have had it earlier on the agenda.
Well, the council meetings are interesting, so
you used to be in them as a council member.
Yeah,
so.
They've got interesting things coming up. They're talking about cats and chickens, and I'm glad they're not talking about moratoriums anymore.
The
so
birds
I'm glad about
and
that.
The bees and the cats
and the goats
and the trees and the goats.
That's what makes the world go round.
And a thing called love.
He's going to break out in song at the end of the show here.
No, I wouldn't do that to our listeners.
No, thank you so much for having us. It's always a pleasure. And again, I just want to let people know that all of the things we talked about are available to take a peek at on the Chamber website.
All
Thanks
right,
again.
Tomorrow we'll be at Faribault Interiors doing AM Minnesota. You're in tune to KDHL AM in Faribault, Minnesota. Yeah, we're looking forward to Faribault Interiors.
From ABC News.